Ladies and gentlemen, this man on the bike is Graham Jarvis, world champion enduro rider. Well, greetings and welcome. This is Bike Guys Off-Road, and we are a new YouTube channel, and we're testing out a lot of different things. But we have a ton of information for you coming up. We have bike tests, trail rides, riding tips, all kinds of things that'll be coming up. This is some video from a recent trip that we made up to Northern Idaho in the Coeur d'Alene area, just south of Sandpoint, up into the mountains up there. And we ran into a gentleman who has a beautiful lodge up there and is specifically set up for dirt bike riders. It's called Goldcreek Lodge. Dave McCahill is the owner, and he invited us up. We went up and spent a week. And this ride right here, Graham Jarvis is in that group, and we were going to just go out onto the trail. And this is a follow me type trail up into some gnarly, tough riding area. Okay. Now, the trails around the Goldcreek Lodge, there are hundreds, literally hundreds of miles of trails all over these mountains. And they, for the most part, are intermediate type trails and easy, or not just say easy, but they're moderately paced trails, flowing trails, and that sort of thing that you can go up and enjoy. They also have some beginner type loops for lesser skilled riders, and then they have some areas that are just for experts and pros only. And that's where we're heading on this particular pull out here, is to one of the expert trails. As it was, this trail ended up becoming a little bit too much for me, so I wasn't able to make it clear to the top and had to turn around and come back down. But the Graham Jarvis and a couple of the other pro riders, Kevin Rookstool was with them, a couple of local pros, and Dave, they blasted up to the top over the giant boulders and so on, and had a heck of a trail. Now this shot here is another of the leading in trails to some other trails. This event we went on for a week or so up at this Goldcreek Lodge and enjoyed ourselves. I'll have some clips here in a moment of what the Goldcreek Lodge looks like, and you can see that there's everything from moderate to easy trails to ride, and every skill level on this mountain. Typical Idaho riding, woods, trails, single track all over the place. Most of what we did in riding for 4 to 5 days was single track like this, and even more. You'll see it later in the video. Here's the Goldcreek Lodge. That's their logo on the sign out on the road. They have an 8-room hotel here. They have a large shop for doing mechanical work and things like that for bikes. If you have a repair that needs to be done, they have tools and equipment there, a few spares and that. They also rent motorcycles. They have KTM 300 TPI bikes for rent. If you don't have, or if you want to just fly into Spokane and then come over here. This is the Goldcreek Lodge. It's a bar and restaurant on the property. It's beautiful. They serve great food, have all kinds of bar accoutrements, different types of craft beers and things like that. And you can see it's a nice quality place, well run, clean, nice, friendly staff. I really enjoyed my time up there. We could I stayed in the motorhome. They have a motor RV park there. They have dry camping. They have places for, campers and different things to park around in this property. But then you could go in and get yourself a nice warm breakfast and then head out on the trail, spend the day out on the trail. And then when you got back that evening, there would be a welcoming bar and restaurant. You could get good food and something to drink. Now this is another one of the rides up there. We do some of these rides where they're just follow me rides, because once you're on the trail, there's nowhere else to go. You're on the trail. Some of these trails would go anywhere from 15 to 25 miles without another cross trail or anything on them. So the riding was very easy to do this way. The order in which the bikes went up the mountain turned out to be just skill level. The faster guys ended up in the front, and the less skilled riders, like this poor fellow, tipped over, and so they just end up working their way back and forth, and you end up in a trail ride out. Now the area can be explored on your own. There's literally hundreds of miles of trails. You don't have to have a guide. We just happen to have a guide on most of our rides up there, although we did some rides without guides. They have sometimes one or two other riders there at the lodge that are specific to trail guiding. They know the area like the back of their hand and can take you out on the kind of trail that you want to have, so you don't feel like you're just lost in the woods. We were invited guests up there, so we were able to ride with the owner and some of the top riders that he had. Ended up inviting in some of the local pro riders to ride with us, and we just had a wonderful day of riding. Went about 65 miles or something like that of this type of terrain, and you can see how clean and nice it is up there. This ride was in September, and they hadn't had much rain, but once you got into the trees, the ground was still moist, so that was really nice. When you come out into some of the sunny areas, it might get a little dusty here and there, but there are places where, the views in that are just absolutely outstanding. Mountain tops, valleys, rivers. We crossed one trail that we crossed the creek 8 times going up, and various different depths of water in that. Just challenging, fun kind of stuff. But I highly recommend the Goldcreek Lodge, and we will put some attachments on the end of the video or in the description so that you can get a hold of the Goldcreek Lodge. They were featured in, I think, Moto 7 in the Moto series of videos that's popular on YouTube and some of the cable channels and that. One of the riders that we were riding with on this particular ride was Kevin Rookstool, and he's a former pro motocrosser and a endurocross rider, and just a fun guy to go riding with. But he spent a lot of time up here, knows a bunch of the trails and that, and so we had a great time on our rides. So I highly implore you to, if you want to see this kind of terrain or ride in these type of areas, we'll go look at the links and you can enjoy the ride as well. We'll just have some more video here. The links and that will be at the end. Thank you.